Greetings, Internet. Welcome to the Nightwing 01 channel, and this is the Knightcast Audio Podcast. And tonight, well, we weren't planning on meeting tonight, so here we are. There's been some new developments in Warner Brothers games, the Batman game and some other things. And it was a happy time. It was about 12 hours ago. And for about, I want to say a couple months, I've heard some things that AT&T was considering selling some assets, such as DC Comics, Warner Brothers games, and some other things, but the Warner Brothers game thing didn't sound like it had any validity to it. It was just kind of, it might happen. They had a couple buyers that were interested, and they were talking about their properties, but it didn't look like it was a surefire thing. It looked like DC Comics was in more trouble, and then of course Dan Didio was fired, so DC Comics is more stable, and technically AT&T is running it now and giving it another shot. But Warner Brothers Games has been too complacent, unreliable, and they've kind of not really been releasing products that often outside of Lego for close to 5 years now. And that was not a good thing. When AT&T bought Warner Brothers, they ended up putting themselves into debt a little bit, close to $200 billion in debt. Warner Brothers Games, if I'm reading this correctly, they're about $165 billion in debt, which adds to that close to $200 billion for AT&T. After purchasing whatever. There are a couple companies that are interested in buying all the assets of Warner Brothers, like the Warner Brothers Games division. How this will affect games and development is not good. It's very bad. There are some games that are almost finished, and there are others that are not, and would need more time. And if one company buys WB Games, then, oh great, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to shut down this one program. 1 second, guys. That's going to be kind of colorful distractions for this podcast thing. And I want to say that this is all psych. I want to be like, this isn't true, this isn't happening. And I've known Warner Brothers Games for about 14 years. I've worked off and on with different community managers. I've met their divisions in New York, California, not so much Canada. For reasons, but they're a group that I've come to respect and know my entire career on YouTube. And even before, when I worked with Got Game and other publications, like the WB guys were really cool. I mean, they made me cookies, for crying out loud, to look at a Lego game twice. Lego Batman 2, they sent me cookies from New York City, from a bakery that they had custom made. They're good people, they really are, and I just feel terrible about it. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach. I try to do my best, like for a sponsored stream that I was doing for Atari a little while ago, but it's just like holding this all in. I just feel devastated and kind of like gross, I can tell you for a fact that before WB Games was doing justice to Batman and the Justice League, I've been a gamer for 30 plus years. And with the exception to maybe a handful of Batman and DC games, they all sucked. Okay? They were bounced between different licensing companies like Konami and Acclaim, Activision, Ubisoft. And most of them were terrible. And then we had WB come along, and they were like, you know what? We're going to make stuff in-house. And it was better. And now, I don't know. There's a company that doesn't want to be named in the press release about this buyout because it hasn't happened yet. But there's 4 companies that are very interested that have, 5 companies. There's 3 companies that have listed their names publicly. Take-Two Interactive, Activision, and EA Games. I'm telling you right now, I do not want EA Games to buy WB Games because that would be bad. Take-Two has said that they'll take the company into its house, like they won't close WB Games entirely. So that means a lot of my, I wouldn't say colleagues, but people I know won't be out of a job. Because what sucks when developers are bought out, a lot of people lose their jobs. A lot. And even them being brought in-house by another developer, it's not a guarantee that a lot of these people are going to keep their jobs. Such as what happened to my friends at Saban when Hasbro bought them. Pretty much everybody got fired. Like within 6 to 8 months after being part of Hasbro. They were all let go. I am really upset. I'm just... Oh, gosh! You people have no idea how bad Batman and superhero games were before Warner Brothers. Before they actually were like, you know what? We're going to take our properties and we're going to do them in-house. We're going to work with companies like Rocksteady. They bought Rocksteady. They bought the Lego Traveler's Tale people. They bought Midway, essentially, with Mortal Kombat. They've done a lot of good. It sucks that they're in debt. And there's nothing good that's going to come of this. I don't know what's going to happen to the Batman game that's in development. You know, I think E3 has hurt so many companies. And it's just bad, guys. It's not good news. It's just not. It's not good. All we can hope is that EA Games doesn't buy Warner Brothers games, because if they do, oh my god. Oh my gosh, that would be so bad. That'd be horrible. I should have been a billionaire, you're right. I would have bought Warner Brothers. But anyway, let's get to this. Big publications are talking about this. This is not a joke. CNBC, you've got Forbes, you've got all these people are breaking this story. I'm visibly annoyed, I really am. I've worked with Warner Brothers on so many properties for 14 years. Promoting on YouTube, everything from obscure things like Scribblenauts and the different Lego games, Mortal Kombat, all the Arkham games, their mobile games. I turned down Game of Thrones because I wasn't interested, but just so many IPs and so many years. Just doesn't seem right. I knew Factor 5 really well too. The guys who made Rogue Squadron, they were fantastic. They're gone. They've been gone for 15 years now. Never came back. They bought Avalanche. They didn't buy the rights. They didn't buy the rights to Disney Infinity. They bought the right to the Disney Infinity engine. It didn't do anything. But this is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. When you buy a property, or when you have something like this, in order to keep making money, you do not wait 5 years to release more products outside of Lego. That was corporate suicide. I'm angry, okay? I am royally ticked. You don't wait this long. You don't. Game companies have to release products to make money. They could have released an Arkham collection on the Switch years ago. There's a lot of things that they could have done. $165 billion in debt. Seriously. Gosh. You know, today started out as a good day. It did. So in 2018, Time Warner was bought by AT&T for $109 billion. The deal closed by the end of 2018, and they amassed for the entire brand about $165 billion in debt. Then they had some terrible box office results, so they lost more money with their film and their game divisions. 2019, 2020, which is still now. Batman was going to be at E3. They're putzing around for 5 years. Ugh. It's not that hard. There's so many things that they could have done. I love these people, too. That's why this hurts so much. I know these people. I've met them in New York City and California. They're good people. This sucks. This sucks.
They don't have a say in it. AT&T is just selling it.
I mean, we knew that AT&T was going after DC Comics, and they still might. They still might. But I mean, I guess I'm an idiot for dismissing this rumor that I heard like 3 or 4 months ago. Because I was like, there's no way. There's no way they're going to sell WB Games. You want to know how much they're going to make from this? This is what really ticks me off. How much do you think they're going to get back for selling WB Games? You want to know? They're $165 billion in debt. Their projected buyout for WB Games, according to Forbes and CNBC, $4 billion in assets. How would getting a measly $4 billion when you're 165 in the hole be a good sale? How is that going to help the people that work for these companies? Are you kidding me? They call that a win? What are you smoking, AT&T? $4 billion. $4 billion for including Mortal Kombat, Scribblenauts, Harry Potter, the Lego movie assets. Go home, AT&T, you're drunk. $4 billion. Oh, gosh. Yeah, this isn't good news, people. This is bad. This is very bad. I don't know what this means for Batman that's in development. If E3 would have happened, Batman probably would release. I don't know what they're doing in August now. I don't even know if they're going to go through with the whole August WB Direct now. No one knows. I guess it's up to the people that buy WB Games, whatever. Nobody knows when this deal's going to go through either. But AT&T is looking to cut their losses, according to their new chief executive officer. Huh. Well, WB Games would exist if Take-Two Interactive got it, because it says it would bring it in-house. So that means a studio technically would be intact, kind of. Not really, though, because that'd be part of Take-Two. If EA buys it, then they'll just... It would just be part of EA. It wouldn't be Warner Brothers. It wouldn't have an identity anymore. I mean, they haven't been around that long, but you guys have to remember, I played all the horrible Batman games growing up. All of them. I can name 5 on my hand that were decent. 5! Batman on the NES. Good. Batman on the Super Nintendo. Good. Batman and Robin on Super Nintendo. Or Genesis. Okay. Batman Vengeance. Decent. Batman Rise of Sin-Tzu was fun, but it's not really in the top 5. The number 5 game would be Batman Begins. That's it. They had 25 games from 88 until 2001, and out of that 25, 5 were good. Okay? And they varied from Konami, Ubisoft, Acclaim, Activision. Nobody got it right. And when they did get it right, they'd release one good game. Okay, Batman Returns was pretty dope. And that was Konami. Konami had a lot of good ones. They had at least 3 good Batman games. And then they sold the rights to somebody else. Batman was going back and forth ping-pong-wise between companies as a licensed product. Sometimes people would make a good game. Sometimes they'd make a sucky game. It was not consistent. You didn't have franchises. You didn't have any of this. You didn't have legacies. WB Games gave you that. WB Games was like, okay, we're going to make a franchise for Batman Arkham. Boom. Franchise. Injustice. Franchise. Lego Batman games. Franchise. There was no franchises before. There were just weird games that came out of a hat. And that's where we're going back to. Rocksteady is part of WB Games. I think. I'm going to email Gaz tonight and ask him, because I don't know. I thought they were part of WB. There's a lot of studios that are connected to WB Games. Oh, gosh. I didn't even think about that. Oh, my gosh. This sucks. 2020 is the worst year. Yeah. So because they can save $4 billion, AT&T is going to chop up WB Games. Gosh.
Warner Brother WB Games had a majority stake in Batman Arkham Asylum developer Rocksteady Studios.
Yep, so they own Rocksteady. So Rocksteady's screwed. So Ed Boon is screwed, Rocksteady's screwed. If this deal goes through, oh my gosh. Oh gosh. And Ed Boon, I mean, he lost his company before. Midway, if it wasn't for Warner Brothers saving essentially Midway and the remaining people at Midway, they created NetherRealms. NetherRealms is pretty much owned by Warner Brothers. Oh my gosh.
So Mortal Kombat is gone.
Mortal Kombat is screwed too. Everybody's screwed.
So what games will you
Marvel games? No, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, I actually am playing Avengers this year, but if you're gonna be here, honey, you have to be on the mic. People can't hear you.
I'm so nervous to say anything.
Refocusing a lot of work
So-
around portfolio and rationalization.
So if you play, so if the games that are the best games that you love are completely gone, like all the Mortal Kombat games, every Batman game you've ever loved,
I mean, you could still play them as they were, but as far as new franchise, it's
but
new.
the whole reason like you started this channel probably will be for nothing, because there'll be no new Batman games that'll be any good.
I mean, everybody jokes around that I'm like the grandfather of the Arkham community. I would say that me and AV are kind of split in that, but yeah, I was talking to AV about this. I mean, this is bad.
Well, you know what, Luke? If you have to play Marvel games, at least they can't force you to smile, unless Disney can force you to do that if it's written in your contract.
I would say our best bet. Oh, that's right. Activision and Blizzard are one company. I keep forgetting they're Activision Blizzard. Huh. So they're a merger. So I guess it would be Take-Two and Warner Brothers Interactive Software. I guess if Warner Brothers gets to keep their name, Take-Two is probably our best bet. But I'm sorry, but just to shave off $4 billion of $165 billion debt, that doesn't seem right.
And the fact that they were going to release a new game that could have made a ton of money this year, and they're just selling them before they have the chance. It's just like Disney Infinity 4, where Disney got rid of the Disney franchise, like Disney Games or whatever that place was.
This is
Before
all.
they were able to make Disney.
This is
Infinity 4.
not about branding. This is all about money. So, according to executive officer at AT&T, AT&T will continue to get revenue from its IPs from whatever company we decide to sell to. So they're
care.
still they don't care. They don't care. It's not.
It's just like all numbers to them.
It's
like,
all numbers. It's not about the people. It's not about the franchises. It's just about the intellectual property.
I mean,
That's it.
They're a telephone company.
No, they own Time Warner. I mean, I was a little nervous when AT&T bought Warner Brothers a couple years ago, because I was kind of like,
I told you from the beginning. I said I know a lot of shady things about AT&T from the beginning.
careful.
Like,
We already had a strike, so
Fine.
just button it.
Then why? Fine, I'm gonna go over here again.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. From the minute I heard that they bought it, I knew, because I already know some other shady things about AT&T.
Yeah, keep that to yourself,
I
please.
won't talk about it, obviously, but I already know some stuff about them.
Good.
That's why I use Verizon.
That's fine. That's a good way to end it. Oh my gosh. $4 billion. I mean, I'm not really big into the whole Harry Potter, whatever. I've played Mortal Kombat from time to time. I like Ed Boon. I think NetherRealms is pretty awesome. I don't think anybody was expecting this right now during the whole pandemic thing. No deal is assured or imminent at this time, but things are moving rapidly. And I will tell you, when things move rapidly in business lingo, that is not good. It doesn't mean imminent, but rapidly does not mean a few years from now. That could mean at the end of the year. That could mean in the fall. This could be one of the big reasons why the Batman game has not been announced. Because, in all honesty, they probably don't know how to tag the game.
What you should do is start like a thing where we all boycott AT&T until they don't sell more.
Boycotts don't work. Boycotts don't work. We're too small of an audience to do any dent. No other people are going to... Mortal Kombat people, they're not going to join the Arkham community. Everybody's separate. There's nothing we can do. This is a $1 billion corporation that wants to shave off $4 billion.
Somebody has an interesting question. Here, I'll come over here. All right, somebody had an interesting question in the chat. Wanted to know who, in your opinion, would you be okay with buying WB Games?
Well, we've been starting up a relationship with Take-Two Interactive for about 2 years. There's some pretty good people over there. There's some people I know who used to be from other companies, community managers and artists and other people that they're good. And Take-Two has gotten better. I definitely don't want EA. I don't. Activision probably would be okay. Activision or Take-Two.
People said Microsoft could buy it.
I'm pretty sure Microsoft is out of the 5 people, I'm pretty sure the 2 other people that they're not talking about is Sony Studios and Microsoft Studios. Yeah. 2 other parties remain anonymous at this time, but 3 others are public with this. Take-Two, EA, and Activision Blizzard.
I mean, just out of selfish reasons, because we have a PS4, I would want Sony to buy it.
No, you don't.
Why?
No, because then WB Game, if Sony bought Warner Brothers, then all Warner Brothers stuff would be exclusive to Sony. Same thing with Microsoft.
Yeah, but we have a PS4.
No, I don't think you understand that.
I don't understand.
You don't want Sony or Microsoft to buy them because then there are other consoles. There are mobile things. Warner Brothers Games is not right. Warner Brothers Games is not just on consoles.
You won't be able to make Lego games on the Switch or anything like
mobile, that. PC, nothing. It has to be one of those 3 companies, or you say goodbye to multi-platform.
So you're saying if either Microsoft tried to buy it and then made it exclusive to Xbox, or if Sony bought it, made it.
Do you know how much Nintendo had to pay to get Minecraft and Ori and the Blind Forest and other things to appear from Microsoft Studios on Switch?
Through their nose?
Microsoft is not really cool with that kind of stuff. You know?
They're both pretty crazy. I feel like Microsoft.
And if Master Chief ends up in Smash Brothers, oh my gosh, the royalties Nintendo would have to pay for that? No, thank you. So
you're saying that WB Games being on their own was the best situation.
Yes, because they can release. AT&T does not understand that when you do things in-house, you save money. When you license things out, it's not.
You lose money. They're gonna lose more money.
You also lose control. When you license out products, you lose creative control. You get a consultant thing, and I have seen what consultant-based games turn into. I've played all of them.
Are you talking about what Microsoft did to Banjo?
No, I'm talking Batman Forever. I'm talking Batman and Robin. I'm talking about Gotham City Racers. I'm talking about Vengeance. I'm talking about all those games that were just average.
We don't want average games. Batman isn't average. He's awesome.
This is why you do not putz around for 5 years when you have a hit property. Stupid. You just don't do that stuff. You have assets, you have the ability. The Switch has been out since 2017, okay? 2017. They've had from 2017 through now to release a collection. They could have put Arkham Knight on there. They've downscaled everything else. They've got the Doom game, and they've got other things running on the Switch, no problem. And you're telling me that they couldn't find some way of getting Arkham Knight? Impossible. I don't believe it. I believe it was laziness, and I believe they just didn't want to. But they could have made additional money. They could have had other revenue while they were working on other things. But nope, they were just like, for 5 years, we're good. People will wait. We'll be ready to do something Batman-related. It was probably AT&T that canceled all those other Batman games that were in development. That's my guess now. Ever since 2018, we've had so many projects canceled. Bet you it was AT&T's doing. Guarantee it. Guarantee. Same thing with the Superman game. I remember that. Rocksteady said they were working on the Superman game. They pitched it to Warner Brothers and AT&T, and WB and AT&T said no. Rocksteady had something to show. It was cool. I don't know if the old Warner Brothers would shoot it down, but the one that was owned by AT&T did. How in the world did Zack Snyder get his Justice League thing on? I thought AT&T was a cool company. I've been talking to them recently. Their community manager on Twitter is cool.
Fooled you.
Exactly. Then they're doing all this shady stuff behind closed doors. It reminds me of how game companies were 25, 30 years ago. Just all like backroom deals and horrible crap.
Do you think the people working for WB Games had any idea they were going to do this?
I don't think they had any idea, no.
Or they just like told them, oh, by the way, your company's going to be sold. And
pretty much.
You're probably all going to lose your jobs.
Yep. They're probably just now, like probably either today or a few days ago, they started to get noticed. By the way, we're shopping around to sell you. We'll let you know what's going to happen.
As they're about to show that they have a new game.
Mm-hmm.
So that new game that they've been working on for like 5 years, they're never going to get to show it.
No, they're going to, they'll probably release the Batman game, but it'd still be, I mean...
They won't...
I mean, I don't know.
People working for them won't be able to feed their families after the game.
I mean, I actually thought it was cool that I had places like, I mean, even though I don't like CBR, it was interesting that for the first time since 2015, I got publications talking about me as a prominent YouTuber, and it's just kind of like, okay. But they misquoted me, so I thought that was my only problem. And then my emails blowing up about asset sell for AT&T and Warner Brothers.
What is WB Studios?
There is no WB Studios.
Somebody's saying WB. Are they talking about the movie?
No, this has nothing, guys. This has nothing to do with the movies. This is the video game branch.
They're saying that they want the movie. Somebody thinks the movie studio should buy the game studio or something.
No, they're not going to do that. WB Interactive hasn't really been around anymore. WB Interactive turned into WB Games, or one or the other. I forget.
Maybe Traveler's Tales could buy them.
Traveler's Tales is part of Warner Brothers, Amber.
Oh.
The Lego... Oh, my gosh.
Darn it.
Telltale Games was part of Warner Brothers.
All of those?
Well, Telltale's already gone, but yeah.
Well, isn't that like the majority of games that we played our entire life? What are we going to play?
Most of the games that this channel covered were all WB. Majority.
Like 99.9%.
I'd say 90% of the games we covered on this channel were Warner Brothers. Before we started the Let's Play.
Even the Let's Play channel started out with WB games.
The Let's Play channel did start out with WB, yep.
And
we've covered a new WB games every like 2 years, every 2 or 3 years. Something like that.
I'm just gonna wear a T-shirt and my face cam in every video from now on, no matter what I'm playing, and have it say #save WB games.
There's nothing you can do.
Even if I'm playing like another franchise, I'll be like, I'll only smile if I'm playing a WB game.
There's nothing you can do. If they're already at this point where they're talking about how much money they're going to get for this, and that they're doing some type of licensing deal where they can still earn revenue off the games being sold, it's done.
People are saying that they think it can't be real because it's so bad.
Google is not one of the other parties. I guarantee it. The other parties that aren't being like talked about legally because they refuse to. Oh my gosh. Is probably Sony Studios and Microsoft Studios. But I mean, I'm guessing it. Please don't misquote me and go to some publication. K-Wing says that Sony and Microsoft are the other companies that are part of the 5 that are interested in buying WB Games assets. I have no proof of that. I'm speculating based on how Microsoft and Sony like to throw money around that they're probably the other 2 unspoken people that are trying to buy these assets. I don't think it would be Google Stadia. Google's terrible. I mean, I appreciate Google with YouTube and whatever, but no, Google's not one of the other companies. I don't believe it.
Why? Okay, you have lots of people in the chat, like, since the beginning of your stream asking why they don't understand. Why would this be bad?
Why would this be bad? Well, because the talent behind the games would be taken apart. For years, you've had these different people get to know each other. They build a chemistry. They've made these games together. They know how to work well with each other. Whenever you pick and take different developers and team members off your team, it suffers the production of your game. So it might not hurt the Batman game that's currently in development, but what about the next game? What about the next Lego game? All these things that you guys are so used to, when they fire these different team members and say, we're going to cut costs. I know we just bought you, but we actually have some people in our team over here at Activision or Take-Two, so you don't have a job anymore, but we need you to kind of train and get this person used to what you used to do, and we just don't want to pay you if we, can make our other person just work a little bit more hours and stuff like that. The entire team is not going to get to stay.
Just think about any really awesome game company from the past that doesn't exist anymore. Like the people who made Rogue Squadron. Because those people don't make Rogue Squadron games anymore, has there ever been anyone after that who has ever made a game even close to what Rogue Squadron was for Star Wars combat games? No, never. Doesn't matter how much money they have. It had to do with the talent. The talent of the people at WB Games it's the talent, the passion for Batman, the knowledge, that just like the people getting together and understanding the character. Who knows? Somebody could buy, quote, WB Games and start making Batwoman games and stuff like that. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. They could start making, anything. They could start making, like, Polka Dot Man games. I mean, it doesn't mean that...
Why?
I'm just saying,
why does AT&T have Warner Brothers? Because the failure of Justice League, Suicide Squad, and their film and, game assets, too. WB was losing money and getting like bigger and bigger in debt, and AT&T swooped in and bought them for $109 billion sometime in 2018. So a year after Justice League, Suicide Squad, and some of the other games that they came out, even their Lego games that have released between 2017, 2018, 2019 have not netted as much as they should have. And I mean, it's all added to this $165 billion debt for Warner Brothers as a whole. That includes DC Comics, Warner Brothers Films, Warner Brothers Games, Warner Brothers Streaming Services, HBO. All these companies are in massive debt, and they're all owned by AT&T. That means AT&T, as the owner, and they are the sole owner. It's AT&T Time Warner. I don't even think it's AT&T Time Warner. I think it's just AT&T. I think Time Warner's been dissolved.
Oh, here's my question, though.
I was speaking still.
All right.
So all these things have been kind of like dissolved into AT&T. As the sole owner of this, they can do whatever they want. They talked about shutting down DC Comics at a time. They joked, or not joked, there was mummerings 4, 5, whatever, several months ago that Warner Brothers Games was on the chopping block. But then when more news was happening about a Batman game coming out, it seemed like that news about Warner Brothers being in trouble just kind of dissipated, or nobody was really talking about it anymore. So, as the sole owner of the company, they can do whatever they want. They can sell, they can license. Warner Brothers doesn't have a say. Not really. That's the problem when, just like a big company like Disney, they can tell Marvel to do whatever they want, and Marvel has to do it because they're owned.
Your soul is mine.
Pretty much, yeah. they're Shang-Tsung. AT&T is Shang-Tsung, and it's got like all these different souls inside of it. Warner Brothers Games, Warner Brothers Films, all these different companies, and they can either choose to get rid of the soul or try to make things better. And apparently they just want to get rid of WB Games. And the only reason I'm saying that this is a very real possibility, it's because you've got these big corporations, these big publications that don't talk about gaming, that speak about business, and they're talking about how AT&T has been seeking to sell Warner Brothers. When it says seek sale, that means it's almost a done deal. It doesn't mean, oh, we're considering this, or we might. They are seeking sale. That is bad. That's basically, I remember years ago when Warner Brothers was in trouble and a company was thinking about bailing them out before AT&T popped up. It said Warner Brothers Entertainment, or Warner Brothers Company, Warner Brothers as a whole, like their whole brand, seeking sale. Not long after those articles started popping up, Warner Brothers and AT&T were joined or merged or bought or whatever. So seek sale means happening soon. Doesn't mean, oh my gosh, this is a possibility. Means happening soon for $4 billion.
Is there any possibility in the future of like a company like WB Games ever forming again?
No.
Like a Batman related company, because it won't be related to the gaming division.
They're going to go back to what they did in the 90s, because they're stupid in assuming that if they license stuff out, that it's going to be cheaper than just, well, I mean, it might be cheaper than having an actual studio, but the end result of doing a licensed thing is never really good.
What about a third-party company that loved Batman? Could they make a Batman company in the future?
If they paid AT&T like incredible
have to pay
royalties,
exorbitant amounts.
Mm-hmm.
That was why
they can't afford that.
People passionate about making Batman games that actually were part of WB worked. It will never work again. You can never make it again because they bought them. They bought that division, their gaming division. They're selling their own gaming division, meaning from now on it won't be impossible for, I don't know. I can't imagine. So you really think, I'm just trying to think of how this would work. What if they sold it to somebody like Xbox? Couldn't people who really love Batman, apply to work for Xbox and try to make a good game? I don't really
There's
understand.
no guarantee with that.
But it wouldn't be. The thing is, from now on, like say Xbox bought them or something, which we don't know, who's going to buy them. Say Xbox bought them, Microsoft. The person deciding, who's going to make a Batman game is, Bill Gates, Microsoft, not people that work for Warner Brothers. So the company doesn't really know Batman. That's what you're saying, right?
Something like that.
So whoever buys WB Games, they're not going to really understand who Batman is. The only people that understand who Batman is WB. And they're selling their own game division.
So in 2019, AT&T was calling for, I don't know what that word is. I've never seen that. It's about dividing assets.
I've never heard that. Divestitures?
I don't know. Yeah. So basically, AT&T by 2019 was calling for like dividing up assets, talking to different companies, showing their portfolio around. So this has all been happening behind closed doors. At this time, both EA and Activision were not immediately available for comment, but did not deny staking claim into the company. So again, three companies, Take-Two, Electronic Arts, and Activision, have all vocally expressed interest, but none are available for immediate comment right now. And other two companies are not being disclosed at this time.
I think somebody in the comments said it best, is all we can do is pray that this doesn't happen, but
if it does happen, you can kiss the Batman game goodbye, because there's no way that, how do you know, Warner Brothers might think it's a good game, but apparently AT&T doesn't think it is. That's why they're not really doing much with it. They didn't think the Damian Wayne Batman game was good, so they canceled it. They didn't think the Superman game was good, so they canceled it. They didn't think the Suicide Squad game was good, so they canceled it. They didn't even... I don't think AT&T understands that even if a game is just mediocre, it will still make some money. Just canceling it outright just hurts the studio. It hurts the morale of the developers, and then they're unable to release a good product. If you just keep telling them your stuff sucks and you can't release it, then it kills morale. I mean, the Suicide Squad, at best, it would have been average. Maybe like Arkham Origins. It would have sold something. It might even have gotten some pretty good feedback in the community. Who knows? The Damian Wayne Batman game, would it have been as good as Arkham Origins or Arkham Knight? Probably not. Would it have been something that tied people over in between the 5-year gap to now? Yes. What do I need to do to work for these companies because they're surrounded by morons?
Maybe there's a job application online.
How is it this hard? Especially with the whole Nintendo debacle. My gosh.
If we had a large enough credit card, we should buy WB games.
It doesn't work that way.
Oh.
I'd probably have to sell my soul to become like some kind of corporate suit lackey.
Is that possible?
How
much can you get? No. No, I'm just kidding. I don't understand. The only thing I can hope for is the fact that somebody somewhere, like maybe there's a really awesome Batman fan out there somewhere that works for Sony or that works for Microsoft.
There was a billionaire that was supporting Batman movies. He died years ago. He died during the Nolan run. I think it was around The Dark Knight. There was a guy who was investing a lot into Batman stuff. Behind the scenes for Hollywood, from like Batman through... Yeah, he was actually pretty important for getting promotional stuff for like the Keaton Batman films and the Nolan stuff. And dropping money. But he's dead. He's been dead a while.
I'm just saying that there's always hope, like, you could find... I mean, it is hard to find a team of people that passionate. There's only one place on Earth that you would find a team of people that passionate about Batman. And those would people be working for actual Warner Brothers.
Activision could make a good Batman game? I don't think so.
You wouldn't find... Because... these other companies that would be making Batman games, that would just be one of the games that they're making. They'd be making all kinds of other things, too. So they wouldn't really necessarily know Batman very well.
How do you still have this game? I always play this game. I use this game for all kinds of stuff.
We're not going to get rid of it.
Activision is worse than EA. Nintendo has nothing to do with the problem. AT&T does. Well, Nintendo can't buy Batman or buy WB games.
Well, look, what if they sell it and it does terribly?
No. The guy who was responsible for like dropping like millions of dollars in the movies was not the senator. That was somebody else. As far as I know, that contributor to like the Batman stuff, like the benefactor or whatever. Going back to that one Batman documentary from like the 90s, he's never appeared in the movies. He was just a guy who loved the character so much. He was interested in seeing movies be made, and he gave a lot of money. But he was not the other big Batman fan that you're thinking of is that senator, U.S. senator who has appeared in a lot of Batman movies as a what do they call that? Like a
cameo.
Yeah, no, it's not really a cameo role. He's a it's not a cameo, because people would have to know who that person is for a cameo. It's basically like an NPC or a background character, something like that.
No, you guys don't understand. Rocksteady is part of WB.
Rocksteady is part of WB.
What was I gonna say? Is it possible if they sell WB games and
the Lego games are owned by WB Games?
Yeah. Is it possible if they sell the games, that game studio, and they start losing money, or like for some reason they realize it was a terrible mistake, would they buy their own studio back? I mean, I thought Fox and like Saban and other people have sold their own properties and then realized, oh,
The only person that
I
I've
need to buy
known,
that back.
the only billionaire or the only rich person to ever buy back their brand for a while was Saban. It's the only time. Before I would have told you it never happened.
Well, he only did that because he actually cared about his own property, though.
Disney canceled his property, so he bought it back. If Nickelodeon cancels it, he'll probably buy it back from Hasbro, but I don't know. I mean,
but they wouldn't have enough money to buy it back, and also, like, look at
he bought it back from Disney. Disney was happy to get rid of Power Rangers because Power Rangers would. You have to understand.
They killed Power Rangers.
You have to understand this. When you don't make money for Disney, Disney is glad to get rid of you. So someday, it's very possible that Star Wars could be sold back to Lucas if he's still alive.
So what you're saying
because Power Rangers was.
If you want WB to be able to buy back their own property, what has to happen is they have to basically, whatever company buys them, they have to cause that company to lose so much money that they try to sell it back to Warner Brothers.
We should protest. Your protest isn't going to do anything, guys. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
No, okay, here's the best case scenario, though. So what you just said, if WB, games is sold to somebody, and what if they go bankrupt in somebody else's, like, under somebody else's care, like, say Microsoft buys them or Sony does, and they stop, nobody is buying the Batman games that they make because they're terrible, could they possibly sell WB back to Warner Brothers, and then Warner Brothers would buy it for a low price, and then be able to actually restart WB games and actually make money?
Square Enix could make a Batman game. You are correct. Yeah, Square did at one point. They helped work on Arkham Asylum. So, but I mean, I don't know if Square is. I mean, you can feel free to speculate who you think the other two silent bidders are for the WB Games studio, and like all the different franchises connected to it: Mortal Kombat, Scribblenauts, Arkham.
It's so many game
Injustice,
franchises, though.
Yep, Lego.
Like, here's my thing, though. What will happen to us? Like, they won't make any more Traveler's Tales games. They won't make any more Arkham games. What will we do for a job?
Well, I mean, we
don't really
have our other channel. And I actually don't...
half the stuff we play on that is Batman.
I know, but I've mostly become like a podcast or commentary base. So, I mean, people are saying, play the game. It's like, this is a commentary thing. So, I mean...
Yeah, but...
Once I do Q&A and stuff, I do run around Arkham and beat people up.
I can run around if you want.
For the most part, this is all just commentary based. I am playing through Arkham Knight again for the 5th year anniversary, starting on June 22nd or June 23rd. That'll be live every night until the game is beat again. At least that's what the plan was. I'll also be streaming Blackgate and some other stuff. So, do I think that THQ Nordic could buy them? No. THQ doesn't have the assets for that. Not anymore. Very few. I'm actually surprised that EA would drop $1 billion, but Take-Two Interactive, I'm actually kind of impressed that they would do that because I don't know how much stuff they have. You have to remember that when you buy these game studios too, you're risking quite a bit.
Why would you? Are you saying you don't want EA to buy them because of
No.
what they did to other games?
I don't. EA's not it. I mean, I know we've worked with EA in the past, but they have a lot of issues. You do not. If EA were to buy WB Games, then all the people we know or, have met and things like that, putting a face to the name, different, like, developers and different, like, programmers and PR agencies and all this other stuff, they all be out of a job. And
I feel like they're going to be... I don't mean to be dark, but I feel like they're going to all lose their job anyway.
Depends on the company that picks them up. EA would totally fire everybody.
Some people, if there are certain companies that would keep them on. There are other companies that would completely fire all of the talents of people that worked for WB Games.
If the studio gets bought, then no matter what happens, a majority of people are going to lose their job. But depending on the studio, if they integrate it, like if they still say it's like this is WB Games studio, produced by Take-Two or produced by, I don't even know, Activision, Blizzard, or whatever, chances are maybe a good percentage of the team could still maintain their job. Maybe.
I have a question.
Ubisoft could buy it. Yeah, but...
Is it possible a company would buy WB Games just to have the rights to any possible reference to Batman in future games, and then they would never... Is it possible that a company would buy WB Games and that there would never, because they have the rights to it, they would just never make a Batman game ever again, and then nobody else would ever make one?
No, because you have to make products. As I'm sure AT&T is learning, you have to actually release products to make money. You can't keep milking games that are 5-6 years old. They haven't even, before AT&T bought Warner Brothers would release a Lego game every year to, I think it was a year and 6 months or a year and 3 months. Ever since AT&T bought Warner Brothers, you went down from, instead of 3 Lego games a year, to 1.
But Disney dissolved their own game studio and stopped making games.
Disney Interactive was brought back, and it only does mobile.
Yeah, they pretty much killed their own game studio.
Yeah, because it didn't make them enough money, and AT&T is exactly like Disney.
That's what I'm saying, is that's what I'm worried is going to happen to Batman, exactly what happened to Disney, where
there will always be...
They're going to dissolve the company to the point where all you would have is this little Batman hopping around on a phone.
Nope. No.
You sure?
Because someone will pay an extravagant of money to get like the Batman, Injustice, and Mortal Kombat brands, because they know that there's an audience for that, and they know they can make money on it. So regardless of what happens, Batman will be licensed out to somebody. But the Arkham franchises, the Arkham gameplay, all that stuff will be gone, because that was another studio that created it. It doesn't work that way. There are people that I think could make some pretty good Batman games, to be honest. The studio who did the Star Wars, the Jedi game that came out last year, I think they could make a
Jedi Fallen Order.
Ubisoft has shown that they've gotten a lot better at those stealth games. They could make a Batman game, because they were the ones who made Batman Vengeance and The Rise of Sinzu, and I can't believe they made Gotham City Racers, but they did. But Batman Vengeance wasn't bad. It wasn't the best.
Well, I mean...
So, I mean, things have progressed quite a bit, but the problem is when you license stuff out, then you have bidding wars, and then it's just... it's a mess. It's never good.
Whoever buys it, it's not going to be the same as doing it in-house.
No.
It won't be the same. Everything will be about money. Everything will be about jumping through all these hoops and extra fees and everything, to the point where it won't be the same. You won't get as good a quality game. You will not be able to physically produce a good quality game for the price anymore, because you will have all these extra fees and stuff for licensing it out or whatever.
Yeah, Sony...
it's impossible.
Sony or Microsoft is the only thing that could really help, because the studios would probably remain intact. But then Batman and all the DC stuff would either be exclusive to Microsoft or exclusive to Sony. I mean, if you're being fair, then the Batman stuff would have to go to Microsoft, because Sony has a majority of the Marvel stuff. They can't have both Marvel and DC as exclusives. That doesn't work. No. That would be a game changer. Like, all the superhero games would always be on Sony, but that would suck.
Got a super
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for the super chat.
You feel like fans should have a hand in this situation? Publishers in general are scum for the most part. Yeah.
How can we have a... The only thing that...
Insomniac can't buy WB. They're owned by Sony, guys.
Did
you forget that? They're part of Sony Studios.
The only thing that fans can do in the future to show these people like what you want out of a game, is if somebody buys WB Games and they make a terrible Batman game, is, tell them that it's terrible. That's what a game reviewer's job is. That's why people have always been so angry at Luke when he gives his honest opinion of a game that doesn't do well. But that's why Luke does it, is to show people, like, this is unacceptable. Like, I don't want my game to be like this. I need it to be better. I expect better. And that's why it's so important to be an honest game reviewer, or an honest person, like an honest consumer. Because if you say everything that the company spits out at you is great, even if it's not, then all you're going to have is terrible games, terrible movies, terrible shows. And you wonder why, like, things just keep getting worse because you're telling them, oh, they're trying, it's great.
Oh, I want to
yeah.
interrupt you. All right, so the leaked... I can talk about this now. The leaked image for the Batman game is totally fake. The reason why it's fake image is because the PlayStation logos do not have the R trademark. Whenever PlayStation releases something, if it is solely theirs, there's a little R for the trademark next to their PlayStation name. It's a very well done Photoshop that uses the bat emblem at WB Games Montreal studio in Canada. But Arkham Videos and myself honestly believe that that is not the still image from the game. So that is not from the trailer. If Sony had already bought WB Games, they would have already made this public. Like, they wouldn't be like, oh, we're going to wait till August to tell you guys that the new Batman game is exclusive to Sony. No, Sony wouldn't wait for that. Sony would tell you right away, by the way, our newest studio that we've added to Sony Studios is WB Games. And then WB Games would have appeared at that Sony Studios E3 live thing yesterday. Sony wouldn't have been... That would have been a big surprise for everybody. Like, by the way, WB Games is now owned by Sony. They wouldn't wait for that. They would be marketing like that crazy. Say what you will about Sony, but they are excellent marketers. Like, they are geniuses. They knew exactly what they were doing when they bought Insomniac. They knew what they were doing when they bought Naughty Dog. And all those companies. And they've done actually a great job in-house with all those studios. Those studios are still somewhat intact from how they were, which is a miracle. So, I mean, if you want most people to keep their jobs and the teams to keep cranking out like great Batman content, yeah, maybe Sony is not a bad idea. But at the same time, you have to remember with Microsoft and Sony, those become exclusives. So, bye-bye multi-platform.
Reggie should buy it.
Reggie is... No. Reggie, no. Nobody's going to bail out WB. WB's in trouble. HBO Max is like one of their last things. Arrowverse is falling apart. DCU is... The app is done. I mean, DC has made a lot of questionable things, and yeah, they're going to get bought out by somebody before AT&T is done. Like, we're witnessing... The only reason Marvel is going to survive for the next 100 years is because of Disney. DC and Warner Brothers is in general are just in a bad shape. And they've made a lot of poor decisions. There are things that they probably could have done about 15 years ago that would have course corrected them, but they just, I don't know. They did a lot of things that hurt them up until this point. Same thing with their game division. But I don't believe... Because usually they only go about 2 years before releasing a game. So I really think that part of this corporate sabotage for them not releasing a lot of games by WB is AT&T's fault. And I'm really going to do some digging to find that stuff out, because I know for a fact that so many Warner Brothers games, at least 4 or 5 would come out a year. And it's just been silent for so many things. It's just been eerily quiet. Warner Brothers. Time Warner. Time Warner was the first company to buy Warner Brothers. And then Time Warner was bought out by AT&T. So technically, AT&T didn't buy Warner Brothers. They bought Time Warner. And Time Warner owned Warner Brothers. So it was just like Warner Brothers was in the Time Warner family. And then AT&T bought Time Warner. So I think it's AT&T Time Warner Company is what the name of it is now. I don't know. It's hard for me to keep track of all these mergers, okay? It's too much. I don't like mergers. I hate monopolies. I don't like them. I don't like them. But, yeah, it's bad. This better be a joke. It's not. It's all real. It's all real. I'm waiting to say psych.
I'm gonna have to remind them to sleep in.
Time Warner became Warner Media. There you go. Why is AT&T selling WB? So they can earn $4 billion back from their $165 billion in debt. It's in the description, guys. I have everything written out. Will this affect the Batman movies? No. A little late to the discussion, but who should buy WB Games? Who's most likely to buy it? Most likely people to buy it, Take-Two Interactive, Activision, Blizzard, and what was the other company? EA Games. See, I didn't even want to say EA Games. Nintendo's not going to buy WB. Maybe if Reggie was still around, they'd buy WB, but no, they're not going to. They want to focus on Nintendo properties. Nintendo should have bought a bunch of studios over the years, but nah. $4 billion is nothing for Nintendo. They could have done it. Reggie was... You guys have to thank Reggie because Reggie was responsible for getting a lot of Batman games. He's a big Batman fan, from what I remember. He was really excited to get Arkham City. And I will say this. Arkham City Armored Edition was the best version of Arkham City. It's better than the remake, and it was better than the PlayStation 3 original. It was a really good game. The mechanics with the U-pad made it interesting and fun. The additional gadgets and the shock gauntlets, all kinds of stuff. It was great. That was all thanks to Reggie. Reggie really talked with WB. He got Injustice, he got Batman, he got the Lego stuff. Reggie was awesome. After Reggie left, no more Batman. Very little Lego games. The Doug Bowser guy doesn't care about WB games. There's been hardly any WB games on the Switch after Reggie left. There just isn't. No, if Sony buys it, you just have like multiple of the superhero games on... Has your opinion changed on the Matt Reeves Batmobile? Nope, not right now. It hasn't. No. Knight Rider Batmobile. I think Reggie will save GameStop. I really believe it. Reggie, he has this awesome habit of coming into companies and saving them at the last minute. That's what he loves doing. It's a hobby for him. He doesn't believe that any company is worthless or that no company can't be saved. And his job is he comes in, he fixes it, and then he goes to the next place. He did it with VH1, which I didn't even know that. I didn't know that he worked at VH1 and he made VH1 profitable again. VH1 was on its way out in the mid-90s. They were done. But apparently Reggie was working with VH1 like from the late 90s until the time he went to Nintendo, and he brought them out of the brink. And then he went to Nintendo, and when he felt that Nintendo was doing awesome, he was like, I did my job, I'm leaving. And now he wants to fix GameStop. Go for it. GameStop needs help. Is it possible for this deal to end? I don't see how. I mean, AT&T's been selling assets of Time Warner for a while now. Just nothing major that we would care about. I mean, you and I, we're all gamers and comic nerds, right? So the only things we really care about are Warner Brothers Pictures, Warner Brothers Games, DC Comics. We don't really care about the other assets that AT&T has been, like, gutting. They're not involved with any of the stuff we care about. Yep, Reggie was at VH1. Look it up. Reggie Fils-Aimé, yep. Mm-hmm. How do you not know who Reggie is?
Is their body not ready then? The Reginator.
Where is AT&T headquarters? What are you gonna do?
Oh my god.
Just chill out.
I'm gonna tell you. We're not allowed to get that information out.
No, Reggie is on the board of GameStop. Will this stop the new game from coming out? Will it be canceled? Could it still happen? I don't know. Nobody knows. I even asked Arkham Videos. I said, what do you think this means for Batman Arkham, the new Batman game? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm saying the same thing. I don't know. This is kind of monumental news. I'm surprised more YouTubers aren't talking about it right now. The Mortal Kombat people should be like talking about this. This isn't just something like, oh, Warner Brothers Games is going to be sold. I mean, that's a big deal. That will affect them. That will affect future Mortal Kombat games. That'll affect Ed Boon. That'll affect Rocksteady. That'll affect WB Games Montreal. That'll affect Lego. That'll affect Scribblenauts brand. Lord of the Rings brand. What else do we have in Warner Brothers? We have a lot of stuff, actually. A lot of properties. Hitman. Pretty sure we still own Hitman. I don't know. I mean, anything WB Games related. What if Sony buys Warner Brothers? It'd probably be the best bet. Sony Studios is actually pretty good. Most YouTubers are liars and shills. I don't know if Angry Joe really likes WB Games, though. I don't know. I mean, he has a bigger platform. I'm just the Batman guy. You know, I just go back to the shadows and whatever. I only talk about issues when it's related to Batman. That's all I can do. This is kind of a big issue, but it is what it is. I haven't spoken to Angry Joe in 6 or 7 years now. So if I DM'd him, he'd be like, "Who are you?" Be like, "It's Luke. K-Wing? Oh, what's up?" That's probably how it would go. So, no. I'm not getting a hold of Joe. Who owns Rockstar? Not WB. K-Wing, my best friend I've known... Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry to hear that, Beef Swinger. I'll be praying for you, bud. Worst case, K-Wing, a Chinese company buys them?
I mean, a Chinese company does a good job making Batman games.
What are you leaning more towards, the game being released or canceled? I don't know, guys. I'm not saying... I'm being very careful because now I got crazy publications quoting me, and I'm going to get in trouble with Warner Brothers. I had CBR say some stuff about me, and it's like I'm just waiting. I haven't even checked my email today because, honestly, I'm kind of biting my nails because I never said some of the things they said. I said I believe that the game would be released. They said I said the game would be released. Like I knew for a fact.
They said that you heard somebody tell you it would be
right.
released.
Heard is different than believe. Believe is an assumption or a possibility. Hearing means I literally heard from someone.
Yeah. The publication, just so like people don't get confused, the publication misquoted and they basically told the untruth, and they said that Luke said that he heard that it would be released at a certain day. Luke never said that. I was on the live stream. He said that he thought that he believed that if he were WB, they would probably release it on that day. He was guessing that they would probably release it on that day. He never said.
Okay.
He never said that they said that.
You already said that.
All right. I'm just saying.
See, you just keep going over.
They
and over
misquoted him, and he never said he heard from anyone that they said that. Okay.
Lots of games. Yeah. See, this person is correct. Lots of games bite the dust when a parent company is bought out. So if Batman isn't finished yet, which I believe it is, I believe the game is ready to release, or they're being skittish because of all this backdoor stuff. I guarantee it. Like they probably don't know, and they've known for probably at least probably since the beginning of the month, maybe, that the possibility of their company is being shut down. Either they're frantically working on finishing the game, but here's the thing: up until a few days ago, they were hiring more people at Warner Brothers Games Montreal, because I follow Warner Brothers Games Montreal on LinkedIn, or LinkedIn, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and they've been putting out for the past probably 3 weeks like more job opportunities in WB Games Montreal, and I can't read French, but I know when it says like designer or something coder or something, I know that's game related, so I'm not totally stupid. So I know they're doing something at WB Games Montreal still, but I can't read French, so I don't know exactly what they're doing. But I know they're doing something with their games. So, but up until a few days ago, when these rumors started to get stronger that something was happening with WB Games, I noticed that WB Games Montreal was not posting any new updates for job hires. So then I got nervous. And then I get an email, or not an email, I get a DM from my friend AV, and he's talking about, hey, did you know about this? I was like, well, I heard rumors about this, but I didn't think it was a possibility. He said, oh, yeah, this is very real. And I'm thinking, crap. So, and I thought about talking to him more than just like exchanging pleasantries, because we were talking about the virus, and we were talking about the August event with the 22nd thing, and how CBR misquoted me and stuff like that. So we were having fun with that. And then this news dropped, and then we both got super serious. So, and then right when I found out, I had that stream I had to do for Atari. So I was just like, crap, this day's going to suck. And it has. So, AV is Arkham Videos, if you guys don't know. He's a good friend of mine. Best Arkham player in the world. Who do I predict will buy WB?
I'm hoping Sony.
I don't know if I'm hoping. Well, I mean, for the people I know, I'm hoping Sony buys them because I think the studio would stay 85-90% intact. If Take-Two buys them, and they become part of like Take-Two Interactive Studios or whatever, probably say about maybe 55% of the team will remain intact. Maybe. If EA buys them, 25% of the team would be intact. I don't know about Activision and Blizzard. I don't know them that well. I haven't looked at a Blizzard game in a long time, so I don't... Even our PR guy doesn't talk to anybody at Blizzard that I know of. I don't believe... Wait! No. We used to be tight with Activision when the Skylanders brand was around. But everybody lost their jobs with Skylanders, so I know nobody at Activision. They had a small team that was still around running mobile games for Skylanders, but I got a bunch of emails from former Activision people I know that are at different companies now, like Sega and Konami and things like that. And they're like, hey, I'm here now. You know, if you're ever interested in something at Konami or Sega, let me know. It's like, oh, well, you were at Activision a while ago. They're like, yeah, the Skylanders brand is toast. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. They said, oh, it's okay. I got a job. It's like, oh, okay. So just write down, okay, this so-and-so now works at Sega. So-and-so works at Konami. So-and-so works at Ubisoft. It's just, you know, business as normal. But it's kind of like, oh, so that's what happened to Skylanders. It just kind of quietly, you know, died. It's on mobile, sort of, but they just have a small company that's running it. It doesn't take a lot to run something on mobile. K-Wing, quick question. Who do you want to play Harley Quinn and Batman? And it can't be Margot Robbie. I don't care. Sorry. I don't care. Yeah, guys, don't talk about anything like self-harm related or something like that, please. Arkham Videos, world's best Arkham player, apart from that one time he messed up his combo, the one time in his most popular video. Hey, give AV a slack, man. I mean, the dude is hardcore when it comes to gameplay. He can't do commentary, which he says he can't. But, I mean, he's definitely the top Arkham player in the world. Easily. I've told him that. Other people have told him that. His skills live up to it. He's going to play through the entire Arkham Knight again for the 5th year anniversary, probably too. My stream's going to suck. He's going to do awesome. So all I have is my voice and you guys, and the skills is AV. So, AV is skills, K-Wing is voice. That's it. K-Wing, what does this mean for the comics? Nothing. Unless AT&T gets trigger happy, like, oh, I just chopped up WB Games, let's go after DC hardcore. And whoops. Nothing you can do, guys. The virus making a second comeback, there's really nothing you can do. AT&T is going to do their shady backroom deals, they're going to get rid of stuff. I'm thinking Zack Snyder's cut was all smokescreen for like the big stuff that's happening.
Maybe that's what they did there.
I think so.
Let's throw these people a bone.
Let's throw them a bone, and then let's destroy something else. We're AT&T.
Like Zack Snyder already.
It's too convenient. K-Wing, what's up? Can you please tell me where AT&T I want to give them a cup of tea. No. K-Wing, who is your favorite Batman actor? Keaton Conroy, Roger Craig Smith, Bruce Greenwood, Bale, Affleck. It's hard to pick favorites, but probably top tier is Conroy and Keaton for live and voice. What if Epic Games buys it? The Fortnite people? No. Sorry. Oh, gosh. There's plenty wrong with me. Yep. This feels like an auction. That's what it is, guys. It is. It is an auction. It's very real. It's right there. It's not seek sale for Warner Gaming Unit. All these publications that just talk business news. This is all real. This is not. I'm not lying. This is happening. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. Nothing you can do. You can know the bullet points. AT&T selling Warner Brothers Gaming Division for about $4 billion to cover $165 billion in losses. That doesn't really feel like it would do much. So instead of being $165 billion in the hole, there'll be $161 billion. Take-Two Interactive, Electronic Arts, Activision Blizzard all expressed interest in buying the unit, which owns titles including Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter, Batman, Lego, Scribblenauts. Did I say Scribblenauts? Lego Movie, Game of Thrones, blah, blah, blah. Like, this company, CNBC did a terrible job of actually listing the assets. They don't even know. They're not familiar with all the stuff that Warner Brothers Games has. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this is just like any casual would know Mortal Kombat or Lego or Scribblenauts. But I mean, you know, Arkham and Injustice, they're not really listing those because they haven't really been active with those franchises. I mean, I'm all calm now, but I'm still pretty ticked, to be honest. I really don't want them to sell it at all. Personally, I want AT&T to put on their big boy pants, and I want them to wait and to see the money roll in for the Batman game, and I want them to really start releasing their Warner Brothers properties. There's been so many companies that have actually been porting things to the Switch and doing very well. And I mean, Take-Two Interactive and Bethesda were actually surprised with the sales of XCOM 2 and BioShock in these collections. The only problem I have with these collections being on the Switch, you have any idea how big XCOM 2 is on the Switch? 30 gigabytes! That's bigger than DC Universe. And BioShock, great game. BioShock collection on the Switch, 26 gig. That'll take you 4 hours to download. Is Injustice 3 happening? Well, if it was in development, not anymore. That's what common sense would tell you. What happened when LucasArts sold their game division to Disney? All those Star Wars games that were in development, all canceled. All canceled. And then Disney was like, we're going to make our own Star Wars game. They didn't want to make money and be like, you know, we're almost done with Star Wars, what was it, 1313? Something like that? We could just finish it and put our Disney name on it. Boom. They're like, no, we can make a better Star Wars game than these guys. Just cancel it. And LucasArts was gone. Just like that. I can't snap my fingers, but yeah, there you go. That's what happened. It's simple. We kill the Batman. I love BioShock.
Maybe the Joker's the one that's behind selling this.
Yes, I do, Caleb. Can't Warner Brothers manage their own game company? Not if AT&T. You have to remember that Warner Brothers is just a part of AT&T. It's like a Legion of Doom meeting. You have different members that are part of the Legion of Doom. They can vote on stuff, but AT&T has majority rule. AT&T is Lex Luthor. So if Joker, we'll say Warner Brothers is Joker or the Riddler, they propose something, AT&T is like, okay, thank you for your input, but we're doing this. Here's my graphs. This is our 10-year plan. Joker, Riddler, thank you so much. Don't worry, we're not going to get rid of your job. You'll still manage these assets. And Joker and Riddler are like, well, okay, I guess that makes sense. But all the people under them, they're fired. They're done. Their division has been folded. That's how it works, people. That's business 101.
They can't because Warner Brothers doesn't own themselves.
Warner Brothers doesn't own themselves anymore. When Warner Brothers was owned by Warner Brothers, yeah. There was like committees like DC and Warner. Well, Warner Brothers, you have to remember, Warner Brothers Interactive or Warner Brothers Games has only been around since 14 years. Before then, there was no WB Games. Okay? There were WB products that were licensed out to different companies. Konami, Ubisoft, Activision, Acclaim, Kenner? No, Kemco. Yeah, Kemco. Oh gosh, they did Dark Tomorrow. Ugh. Who else? There was 2 other companies that made Batman games. Sega had license to make Batman stuff for Sega CD, Sega Genesis, almost Sega Saturn. I believe they had a Batman game in development for Sega Saturn that was canceled when they lost the licensing rights. Licensing rights expire, too. You only have licensing rights for a limited time. So, I mean, once that's up, that's up. It goes to the next company. It's not like, people were always like, we really want this company to make... Wait, who made the Batman Begins game? It was EA, wasn't it? 1 second, guys. Batman Begins was made by EA, wasn't it? I think it was. That game wasn't bad. One sec. Batman Begins, GameCube was made by... It was EA. Holy crap. Really? No. Well, I'll be darned. No! Vicarious Visions was the developer. EA Games was the publisher. What happened to Vicarious? They still around? Wait, they were one of the developers for Skylanders? Ouch. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. They had 218 employees. Ooh. That's right, they were in Albany, New York. Crap. Says they're still around though, kind of, sort of. Yeah, they made the Spider-Man games too. No. Really? Tony Hawk games. Yeah? Spider-Man Enter Electro. Yeah? They made the old school... No way! So the old school Spider-Man developer made Batman Begins. Huh. I never knew that. Learn something new every day. That's kind of cool. Huh. K-Wing, did you like the new PS5 thing? I streamed it. Oh. I don't know what else to say, guys. You can ask me some questions if you want. I'm kind of burned out. I've said my piece. I'm angry. Well, I'm mostly settling down now. Thank you for letting me rant. I just think AT&T is stupid. I've never had a company besides Warner Brothers make me gourmet cookies. That was a big deal. That was sweet. Even though I never ate them, because I never eat food that people send me through the mail, I still thought it was a sweet gesture, and I gave them to my church to see if they were poisoned. You act like I didn't, but I did. Never eat food that comes in the mail, even if you trust them. That's my motto.
If you had eaten those cookies, Luke, this wouldn't be happening today.
Oh my gosh. I did. I walked over to my church and was like, "Hey, Dad, somebody sent them to me in the mail." And he's like, "Oh, okay, just, we'll donate them to the, whatever they do on Sunday, the cookies thing."
Each individually had a different
Lego character printed on them. I know, they had an individual Lego character printed on them. I know. They was special.
They were the most awesome cookies.
I know, but I still couldn't eat them, okay? That's horrible. I have an illness, people, okay?
Yeah.
I do. I have problems. And I have trust issues. That's why people call me Batman sometimes, because I'm paranoid and I don't trust a lot of people. I trust you as far as I can throw you. So not very far.
Are you talking to our cats?
I'm talking to everybody. However far I can throw you in judo, that's about as far as I trust you. And that has kept me a very distant man, guarded man, but not as hurt. Except for all those maker people that stabbed me in the back. But I've learned from that. And it turns out the cookies were safe, so yay!
I ate some of them.
Yeah, Amber doesn't have that same thing. Amber's not scared of stuff. You are a real-life Batman villain. Oh, my gosh. Weird, YouTube signed me out for some reason. They probably don't like what I'm saying. You shouldn't trust anyone. Exactly. Will you talk more about Helena at some point? Helena. Do you receive comments during videos? Don't trust anybody. Don't even trust yourself. Exactly. I lost some people there. What do you think the best company needs to buy WB Games? I don't know. I mean, I wish some billionaire would buy it. That'd be fun. Just give them some money. Be like, I wish someone would give AT&T a bailout. Be like, you owe $165 billion. Here you go. There you go. Let's see how long before you're back in debt.
They deserve a bailout because of Batman.
They deserve a bailout because of Batman. Get Bruce Wayne on that. I offended like 50 people just now. Holy crap.
Why?
Because I said that I gave cookies I thought were poison to a church.
What if it was your own church?
I tell you that Warner Brothers made the cookies safe, but after my car accident, guys, my head doesn't work very well. I don't think rationally about certain things. I'm very careful. I can't. If I try to do something that I can't compute in my head, I have a serious panic attack and I can't breathe. I have what's known as a panic disorder from 9/11 and surviving a car accident. So I'm not, I guess I'm mentally able to function, but, there's reasons why I don't leave my house. I can't. That's just how it is. Was WB offended? No. I think they kind of knew.
They didn't know. We said, no, Luke, we never told them. We told them they were delicious.
Oh, that's right. We wrote them back and said.
They're going to know that you threw them out.
The same people. I didn't throw them out. People ate them.
I had them.
Amber had one.
I had several of them. They were delicious. You're the only one who's
crazy? You could say it. Yeah, get some billionaire to buy it. That'd be great. I mean, you don't know that, Sheen. I mean, go fund me and pay back AT&T. K-Wing is the hero we deserve.
Yes! The fans should buy it. A coalition of fans. Go fund me.
A coalition of fans buy AT&T. Yeah.
No, we'll buy WB Games.
I mean, they're only asking $4 billion.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody, go pester Elon Musk. Say, hey, AT&T wants $4 billion for WB Games. Then you got that. You don't have a game studio, right, Elon? There you go. Everybody go pester him. All 600 of you, go. The church where Oracle is on screen always reminds me of something. AT&T is so dumb. Do they know we want Arkham? Yeah, I don't know.
They don't care what we want.
How do you get so much debt? I don't know.
Wait. Someone's implying that they're going to make the kind of games we want?
You're not crazy. You're just not sane. You're not wrong. I can't compute certain things. I can't. So yeah. That's why I always get on people's case when they say they have bad panic attacks. It's like, well, I got a panic disorder. My mind can shut down at any point without me even doing anything. It's all subconscious. It sucks. When I'm AWOL for a couple weeks, it's probably because I'm like in and out of the ER. So it just your brain is, I don't know, brains suck. Doesn't work. I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen in my 50s and 60s. with this mind of mine. I have no idea. But I survived a car accident that would have killed me, and I survived 9/11, so... Hooray! I still haven't moved back to New York, though, after that. I will not live in New York. I don't think I can. Probably have a lot of, like, flashbacks of stuff. I thought about it. We were going to move close to New York City, but it didn't work out. So... Do you want the deal to end, or do you want Sony to buy? I mean, I don't think there's anything you can do. The deal's going to go... You have to remember, when a company... I'm not a business person, but I'm smart enough to know when certain, like, keywords are floating around with, these big corporations and stuff. And seeking sale is not a good word. It's just not.
Somebody said you also survived the first wave of COVID.
I also survived the first wave of COVID. There you go.
So did all of you.
So did all you guys. Congrats. Proud of you guys. What about Jersey? You can leave the chat, Chad. Go home, Chad. Jersey. No, I couldn't live in Jersey. Do you think Skyward Sword should get a remake? I don't know. Let's drive around in the Batmobile for a little bit. You guys can ask me some questions as I slam into some stuff. Did I call the Batmobile? And I don't personally hate AT&T. I love them for releasing the Snyder Cut, but part of my paranoidness is thinking they're releasing the Snyder Cut because of things to try to, like, get people not to pay attention to the dastardly do's they're doing. Let them eat cake. Yep. Let them eat the Snyder Cut while we gut up WB Games and DC Comics. Oh my gosh. They weren't poisoned, guys. I'm just not. I don't have a healthy mind. And if things got too crazy, I don't know. If I didn't have Amber around here to keep me in check, based on how they want to defund the police and, like, let criminals reign in Minneapolis, I would change careers. And for a while, I'd become, like, organized crime, so I'd never have to work again or worry about repercussions. That's how messed up I am on my own. But because I got this lovely lady watching out for my mental state of being, she keeps me in check and doesn't let me do stupid things. It pays good. I wouldn't have to worry about getting hurt. See? She said no. Oh yeah, they're thinking about getting rid of the police in Minneapolis, and I was thinking about it. I was like, what I find funny about all these community organizers and things like that, they honestly think that criminals aren't watching them on social media and writing down people's names that are saying, hey, I don't have a gun, or, I don't believe in locking my doors. Making a list, checking it twice, gonna find out who's dumb and who's nice. Robber's gonna come to your house. Hey, he'll take your LCD. He'll steal your jewelry. You can't stop him because you think that guns are bad, you see. Ho! There you go. No, I'm just, I'm not insane. I'm crazy I'm sane in a crazy world. Everybody else is the loonies. But I find that hilarious that they honestly believe that people aren't, like, watching them. It's like, criminals are crazy. Crazy smart, too. So, I don't know. I'm playing Arkham. I get on all kinds of crazy topics, but that's what happens when I deviate from the podcast. No, I don't want WB to sell. I think that people need to be patient. And they need to... I really think that they need to restructure stuff. Heck, I'm not doing much. I'll run it. Or you know... Nah, just do it on the TV thing. I'll just do those little Google thingies. No, my webcam works fine. I got all those lights and stuff. I'll work at keeping WB in line and getting them to release stuff. AT&T wants to hire me. I'll yell at people. I'm good at that. When people screw up, I tell them. They need an iron. What they need is they need somebody with an iron grip to get things done, because 5 years is way too long to make people wait for the next Batman game. In the meantime, you know what they could have done? Rant time. Here's what you could have done if you didn't want to do Batman. They missed a huge opportunity for a Flash game. They missed a big opportunity to capitalize on anything Arrow. Heck, they could have made a Arrowverse mobile game and made millions. Millions! They do it? No! Mobile games actually make money with all their blasted microtransactions. You could have had a Flash and Arrowverse mobile game making bank while you're working on an Arrow origin game or a Flash game or a Supergirl game or whatever. Instead, they're just putzing around, sitting on their hands, not doing jack squat, canceling things left and right. You also had several of those cartoon shows that came out from WB. Justice League Action, Super BFFs, Teen Titans Go. Where were those video games? Nothing. All these opportunities for them to make money, and they did jacko. So, I don't know. And don't say they didn't have the assets or they didn't have the time. They're just being lazy. They could easily have thrown something together. The Teen Titans show's been on for, 5 years now? Arrowverse has been around for, how long? How many seasons? 8? 9? Luke Fox's superhero name is Batwing. Oh, yeah. Why did they never make a Batwing game? Well, they'd have to make, something Batwing related first. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, Batwoman's being killed off anyway, or made to disappear. They're going to replace her anyway. And we're not talking about... I already ranted about that stuff, Amber. Those Batman games were terrible. Except for 5. Except for 5. Yep, Wonder Woman game. Yep. That would have been something to do they could have done. I told everybody before, I said they were banking on the success of Justice League and Suicide Squad for them to do anything. And because those movies, did not do well, they putzed around and they canceled stuff because they were thinking, well, the public interest is probably not into this property. It's like, no, release a good product, you'd be fine. 2017, 2018 would have been a great time for a new Batman game. Did they do it? Nope, they canceled it. And then they scratched it, and they worked on it again, and then they canceled it, and then it brought us to the third version of the game that was coming out to PS4 or PS5. Did they do anything with it? They had plans to do something at E3, and now, supposedly, they're doing something in August. But are they still doing something in August? We don't know, because now this news drops. So what does this mean for Batman? I don't know, but it can't be good. Doop-de-doop-de-doop-de-dooped. You got clowns working at AT&T. Yep. Which is funny because the dude from Hulu, who's now one of the big cheeses at Warner Brothers, you'd think he would have more of a say in some of the things. What the heck is Jim Lee doing? Yeah, you got the former CEO of Hulu. Did you guys know this? Former CEO of Hulu is one of the big wigs at Warner Brothers now, as of the start of this year. Bet you didn't know that. So you got the Hulu guy, you got Jim Lee, and you got somebody else who apparently know what they're doing, and yet you have monkeys running Warner Brothers games to the point where they're even well, no, they don't. I'm sorry. WB Games doesn't have a choice. They're just an asset that's being used to try to get AT&T out of debt. WB Games could do nothing. If I was there, I could do nothing. All I could do was try to get people to hustle and release some crap. But nope. I'm saying release. They should have released stuff. The only things... Okay, count on your hand, people, right now. How many games have released for Warner Brothers since 2018? Go. Go on, count. Tell me. There's a couple Mortal Kombats, a couple Lego games, maybe a few Telltale. That's it. That's it. That's not enough. Not enough. That's a bad business model right there. That puts you on the chopping block. I have no idea why they decided. To me, it's just completely dumb that a company would not release Arrowverse stuff. When Arrowverse, in its peak, would have made money from tons of casuals. You know, they could have made tens of millions of dollars with an Arrowverse mobile game with microtransactions. I know you hate to think that, but it's true. Because you'd have a bunch of yuppies with nothing better to do that would want a cool quiver or maybe an Arrowverse character, and they would pay through the teeth to get them. Is it evil? Heck yes. Would they buy it? Yes. Because they're not gamers. So, Warner Brothers should have preyed on those people. Disney does. Oh yeah, I went there. I went there. Disney's evil. They do that. They have tons of mobile games with microtransactions. You want to know what Warner Brothers Games finally did? They released a Looney Tunes mobile game that actually looks pretty dope. Not gonna lie, looks fun. I can't play it because of Kappa. But it's got microtransactions and crap. Tons of different Looney Tunes costumes, and that game, surprisingly, is actually doing pretty decent. Money-wise, I mean, people have say, oh, the game is just a cash grab. It is a cash grab. Don't shy away from it. Embrace it. It makes money. This is not a business where you're supposed to be like, oh, no, microtransactions. Shut your face. It makes money. This is what happens when you don't make money, fool. This is what happens. So shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You don't make money, you get canceled. Or derp. Yeah, I'm upset, but I just rant in general because I'm a crazy person. That's what I do. I rant. I do podcasts. I yell. I scream. Break things. Punch people in the face. Play Arkham terribly. Yeah! There we go. Oh, I thought the car was going to roll over. At least I'm releasing something. At least I released a video a couple times a month on this channel. I don't wait 5 years. I don't wait 2 years between content because my audience is not going to be there. Hello, McFly. I know it's not their fault. I know AT&T strong-armed them, but still doesn't matter. There are things they could have done because AT&T likes making money. They should have made Arrowverse games. They should have. That's on them. Arrowverse, not popular anymore. Nobody cares. Batwoman's in the toilet. Supergirl's in the toilet. Legends of Tomorrow is going... Meow. Flash is doing terrible. Arrowverse is going bye-bye. Arrowverse is not in the best shape. Not for AT&T's liking. Everybody thinks, oh, CW, AT&T is just going to let them do whatever they want. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, right! If they're going after WB Games, and WB Games has been slacking on the revenue. You think they're not going to pester the CW? Boy, you smoking something. AT&T is not your friend. They were going to close DC Comics for less than that. CW needs to get their act together. They're next on the chopping block. My sanity has been going for years. I've been a YouTuber for 14 years. I don't have much sanity left. I talk to myself and a bunch of people watch me. My neighbor thinks I've had my neighbor next door talk to me. He's like, you talk to yourself a lot. It's like, I'm an entertainer, thank you very much. He's like, really? Because it sounds like you're talking to yourself aloud. It's like, and sometimes I talk back to myself. I'm just saying, I hear you, I wanted to tell him, I hear you screaming at your kids all the time. It's like, if I talk to myself, at least I'm doing something good to society. Maybe. Yes, I talk to myself for a living. There's nothing wrong with that, unless it's an echo chamber. Then there's a problem with it. Oh, they hardly hear you, honey. They hear me. I have a loud, booming voice. So when I'm doing voiceover or a live stream late at night and I go outside to put the trash out, it's like, hey, can I... The Pennsylvania person. Can I talk to you for a sec? What's up, neighbor? I'm concerned. What are you concerned about? Well, I noticed that you talk to yourself. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I hear you late at night sometimes, and it sounds like you're having a conversation with yourself. No, I'm speaking to... I'm a streamer. You're a what? I'm an internet personality. I'm sorry, what? I speak on a microphone and people watch me. This is why I don't have a psychiatrist anymore. Last time that I will tell you guys this story. Last time I had a psychiatrist, it was a little while after Amber and I got married. I went to her because she was supposed to help me get better so I could, like, do stuff with society, like go to more conventions, leave my house, stop disinfecting things, stop being paranoid, whatever. So she asked me what I did for a living. I said, I am a game journalist. And she's like, oh. She's like, well, what kind of game do you hunt? I'm like, what? Whoa, wait a second. No. I am a game journalist. I am not a big game hunter. I can't leave my house. What makes you think I can go out and hunt things? I'm going to need therapy for therapy. You're not helping. How detached from reality are you? And I'm the one in therapy? Oh. Yes, some of us got seriously jacked up because 9/11. But yeah, it was funny. I was going to a therapist that was supposed to help me, and then I got more issues from going to therapy. So it was like, yeah, no. I'm cutting that loss. Oh my gosh. So would you say that you have vivid nightmares of the event? I don't think talking about it is really going to help me. Okay, I'm reliving it now. Yep, where's my bag to breathe in? This is helping tremendously. Thanks, lady. How much am I paying you? Not anymore! Let's relive your car accident where you almost died. Every week. Nope. My life's fun. Oh, gosh. So, yeah, fun developments. So, originally, tomorrow night, we were going to have an Arkham Origins stream. I'd say we still should. But I have no idea what the topics are going to be tomorrow. I don't really care. This news, like, kind of dropped like a major bomb today because the other bombshell that happened, one of my heroes passed away. Famous Batman writer Danny O'Neill, you've heard me talk about him in Batman lore. He's gone. He was 81 years old. He was responsible for inspiring Chuck Dixon, Paul Dini, a lot of very talented Batman writers, people who worked on Batman the Animated Series. He helped create Ra's al Ghul with Neil Adams and all these other people. He gave us the Bronze Age Batman stuff and things that I've told you for years that my favorite Batman stories were the Bronze Age. So Danny is gone. It happened today. And then on top of all that, the WB crap dropped in my lap, and I was just like, screw today. So... I've already jumped to another multiverse Earth. This is one that wasn't supposed to get the Snyder Cut. And here it is. Except, excuse me, publications, I was never one of those people that said the Snyder Cut didn't exist. So don't you dare pin that on me. I said that it probably existed. They just have to finish it. I hate when people misquote me. It really bothers me. I was not one of those people that mocked the Snyder Cut. I mocked the Justice League movie once in a while. But I said that the Snyder Cut exists, it's just not done, and it's up to Warner Brothers to release it. And they're probably never going to. Because Warner Brothers is not good sometimes. Although now, see, I don't know. I feel like I am going a little batty because I don't know where I stand with this. Like, AT&T is responsible for selling WB games, supposedly, but they're also the people responsible for getting the Snyder Cut. It's all smoke and mirrors. People say don't believe in conspiracy stuff, but I don't know. Something really shady's going on, and I'm losing it, fam. I don't know what's going on anymore. Don't you mess with me. I always get angry. You think it's my mullet that's driving me insane? Well, as soon as the stupid pandemic is up, I'll go get a haircut. I haven't had a haircut in... I don't want to say how many months, since my birthday. Yeah, the problem with when Amber cuts my hair, like, I don't have much hair left. Because she gets, she's too much of a perfectionist. So one side of my hair is all nice, and the other side is why I need to wear a hat all the time. You do a pretty good job when you don't obsess over the length. When you follow my instructions, you do a fantastic job.
Your instructions?
Yes.
Your instructions of do whatever you want, just try to make it look okay?
Nope. I tell you things like, okay, you've been cutting this side too long now, move to the other side. And it looks good. I go in the mirror and I'm like, okay, how much hair do I have left? And then it's like, yep, it looks great. Thanks, honey. Appreciate it.
How was it that you said it was uneven then?
What?
What? You said that you have to wear a hat because I did such a bad job.
Well, I mean, sometimes I wear a hat. You're gonna get me in trouble with my wife, audience. I am not getting myself in trouble. I was answering a question and then it snowballed. You can't get a haircut right now. I'm not getting a haircut. The second wave's coming. No way. Second wave is coming in August or July. I'm going to sit inside all year. Probably. I'm fine. I'm doing great. Yeah. I'm having a blast. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so I don't know what the future's going to hold, people. All we can hope for is that as their last hurrah, because I'm a pessimist, I am pessimist. If you're new to me, I'm a pessimist. Deal with it. I am not an optimist. I don't think you can be a Batman fan and be an optimist. No. I mean, you like a dude who wears black, jumps off rooftops, and he scares people for a living. That doesn't seem like a very, a dude who thinks very highly of himself.
Somebody said, what will happen if Ian makes a Batman game with Brian?
What happens if EA... Well, I'll play it and let you know if it sucks or not. That's what my job is, folks. I play all kinds of games, so you don't have to. And if they're good, I want you to buy them and support the company. But if they suck, I don't want you to. I'm the only one who should be put through pain because I can take it. Oh my gosh, are you still on this? Fine, I will let you cut it again. Maybe. Although people keep calling me Mullet Man, so I'm going to have to get it cut no matter what. It does matter because I could actually talk for 2 hours just about the Snyder Cut. All the stuff that was axed from it because WB panicked. I mean, Cyborg's stuff didn't make sense because he had a whole origin in the movie. There was so much stuff. There was more of the... everybody was like, oh... whatever happened to the Nightmare world? You mean the future of that Earth? They cut all that stuff because they said it was too dark and too many characters were being killed. They wanted to do a total tone correction. In order to do more of the tone correction from the Justice League, they had to cut all the really very heavy story-driven stuff. Cyborg's origin was too depressing and graphic. They had to get rid of all the Nightmare stuff, which is future Earth, where Darkseid takes over the Earth. They had to get rid of the Darkseid stuff because the Darkseid stuff was pretty terrible. They had to get rid of the part where Wonder Woman cuts off the head of what's-his-face? Steppenwolf, and it rolls at Darkseid's feet. They had to cut out 4 hours of content. It's not the same movie. It's going to be completely different. I don't even know how to explain this.
I will explain it. Okay, imagine the Justice League movie. Okay, I won't explain the difference between the Justice League movie we got and the Snyder Cut. Okay.
I don't care if I'm doing spoilers.
No, I know. I am going to just explain it using a metaphor. Okay. Imagine you walk into the movie theater and you see this lollipop on the ground and it has dirt and hair crusted all over it and it's disgusting.
Is that the Snyder Cut or is that Whedon's movie?
That's the one that we got. That's Whedon's movie.
Okay.
Now, when everyone's like, no, this lollipop was better before it got stuck on the ground.
Oh my God.
And got stepped on. And everyone else is like, no, I'm sure this is how the lollipop always was. This is how it came from the manufacturer. And then all the fans are like, no, this has crud all over it. I'm sure this isn't the original lollipop. And everyone's like, release the original lollipop. And everyone's like, no, this is fine. I like eating hair on my lollipop. This is great.
Get to the point.
So basically I'm saying the Snyder Cut is the original lollipop before it was stomped on by 50 people in the movie theater. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm done. There's the difference. That's all you need to know.
They're two different movies. Two different plots. Actually, I don't even... Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. And everybody was wrong with their original assumptions. Oh, it's only going to be like 20 million. That was an estimate. It's much higher than that now. The only person who hasn't confirmed if they're going to be back for anything is Ben. Ben hasn't said anything, but he's getting in shape for something. I don't know. It's not the same. I'm going to get triggered talking about it, though, because I'm very excited about it. I want me some Snyder Cut merch. I feel stupid, though, because I DM'd AT&T's community manager yesterday. I was like, yo, when are you guys going to start rolling out some Snyder Cut merch? I was a big supporter of AT&T. Now I feel kind of used. I'm just another pawn in, I like Verizon better than AT&T. AT&T is a terrible phone provider, and I don't care. They've always been bad. But I like them for buying Warner Brothers, but now I don't like them for buying Warner Brothers because now they're going to gut my favorite game studio. So I'm at an impasse. I don't know what emotions I'm supposed to feel right now. I just need to go out and hit something. Yes, that's basically it. AT&T is Lex Luthor. There you go. Yeah, so Lex Luthor goes and builds this beautiful place in the slums, and then on the other side of town, he's dumping nuclear waste. There you go. Or he just built an amazing hotel and then blew up a park or an amusement thing to build a parking lot. Because he can. Anyway, we're getting off topic. We always get off topic on these podcast things. Yep, I'm a crazy person. But name one person who likes Batman that's not a little baddie. I'll wait.
Someone in the chat said anyone who jumps around and like pictures themselves as a bat.
Yeah, totally. Alright, where's my phone? We're getting kind of late. You guys have any last minute questions or anything like that as we close down the stream? My phone is from AT&T. Your phone is from AT&T and it's crap. I love you.
Talon in the chat says all it takes is one bad day.
A billionaire like you doesn't need an applied science division. It just needs another $1 billion. Nah. Nintendo is making a hotel set to open up next year. Awesome. Don't you think EA and Activision learned from Battlefront 2 and Call of Duty and all the DLC was free for both games? It's possible. I mean, I believe any company is capable of redemption. You know. I don't like big corporations. I don't like monopolies. And I've seen nothing but bad things about monopolies. I was a huge fan of Power Rangers. Disney bought Power Rangers. I thought everything was going to be great with Power Rangers, and then Disney ruined Power Rangers and sold it and killed it. And Saban, for whatever reason, he was like, I'm bringing Power Rangers back. And that's when I started working with Saban, is when, like, he reached out, or not him personally, but Saban as the company, reached out to a lot of content creators and streamers and game press and a bunch of people. Influencers is what they call this. And I worked and covered every Power Rangers game that came out when Saban came back. So all the Nickelodeon stuff, I had contracts with Nickelodeon. That was all through Saban. I don't have contracts with Nickelodeon anymore because Saban's dissolved. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see companies, they can pull themselves out of the gutter. You know, I don't like the wording of some of these articles. I hope that some of this stuff is wrong. But you have to remember that those nasty words. I don't like those nasty words. Seek sale, seeking sale. If the article said considering sale or contemplating selling, but none of these big business publications that leak this, or not leak the story, they proudly announce the story. They're not using the type of words that would give me comfort. But again, I'm a pessimist, so I don't think I'm wrong about it. Like, I feel sick to my stomach that I'm right, and AV is right, and some other people I've talked to is right, and a business friend of mine who I texted asking him, what is this seek sale thing? Is this something I should be worried about? And he said, oh yeah. So, and that guy's like in big business, and, well, I mean, he works for big business in the city, in New York. I don't think I could handle that job. I'd probably have an ulcer. Like, working with all these corporations and numbers and stuff. I couldn't do that. But yeah, he told me that seek sale means bad. It means they're looking for buyer or getting ready to sell or whatever. So I don't know. You guys think this was a productive stream, or is it just K-Wing acting crazy again in front of like 700 people? I think it's a bit of both, personally. The more people that watch me, the crazier I get. Thank God we didn't have 1,000 people watching. Who knows what I would have done. Probably would have yelled more. K-Wing to AT&T. Crazy? You think I'm crazy? I'll show you who's crazy. Yeah. You're my favorite Batman, K-Wing. Thank you. Kingdom Come lore? Not now, Nolan. Favorite Batman game is Arkham City. In honor of Denny O'Neil, Luke, maybe you could watch The Demon's Quest from BTS for your Patreon commentaries. I might cry. I mean, I would love to. That might be fitting, though.
Thanks for the super chat, Gotham Knight.
Thanks for the super chat, Gotham Knight. How could my internet service provider do such a thing? Wish nothing but the best for WB Games. I know, right? Oh, you have AT&T as your service provider? K-Wing is crazy good. Can you explain all the Batman universe? Not right now. This whole fiasco gave me a headache. I know, Matthew. Me too. James Earl Jones or Mark Hamill? Both. Bat and Sun are so good at doing every character, hero, villain, etc. Their superpowered beatdown is awesome. YouTube channel. Yeah, I know those guys. You're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you. Can you explain? No. No more Batman game? We don't know. Can you explain all the... Stop doing that question.
Thanks for the super chat, Chad.
Did I meet Alan Young before he passed away? No. I helped you so much after that, Talon. Oh, thank you. Your stream has been helping me do side quests in Xenoblade. Will you do a walkthrough series of TLU? The last... Is that the last? No. Please do Batman Sinestro Corps lore. You haven't done it yet. Really? Are you sure?
Thank you for the super chats. Just Chad, Pokewood Theater, and the Gotham Knight.
What's the worst Batman game that I played, Pokewood? It's between Gotham City Racer and Batman Forever. It's between those two so far. I've never really played Batman and Robin, so I hope you guys will give my heart a break for like a month or so before you spring something really bad on me. But I don't know.
You know what's gonna really be dumb is that, like, you know, they're working so hard to release the Snyder Cut series. And that's gonna stir so much more people, like, interested in Batman. And it would be great to make a game off that. And at that point, they would already have sold WB games, so they can't.
What's my favorite Justice League member that's not Batman? Flash. Wally West Flash. Why are you so insane? YouTube. YouTube. If you're going to do YouTube, make sure you have another job.
It's insane because, like, I don't know how to describe why YouTube makes a person insane, but it just does. It's like...
What if Disney buys WB? Then you'll have Marvel DC crossover. Marvel DC crossovers, probably.
Thank you for the super chat, Michael.
But you also have terrible Marvel books or DC books. You guys have been noticing a lot of bad DC books of late. Imagine that like tenfold. No, 30, 100-fold. Like all the crazy books at Marvel. Imagine that as like just about every DC comic book. The movies and video games would be good, but the comics would be trash. So you don't want Disney to buy DC Comics because they would have people at Marvel run everything.
J-Bat says,
you don't want that.
Why are you so much like me?
Yeah, I know. R.I.P. Denny. I know.
You have a lot of questions about different DC related stuff.
You love my podcast? Are you sure? Kevin Conroy or Christian Bale as Batman do you prefer? That's hard for me to do because I like both for different reasons for different Batmen. See, I'm not one of those people that I see one person as... I do see one person as the definitive Batman, Kevin Conroy, because Kevin Conroy has played Batman the most, and he's played the most versions of Batman. When I see Batman in media now, I see multiverse Batman.
Thank you for the super chat. Kali Kid 619 says, your wife sounds exactly like Mabel from Gravity Falls. Grappling hook!
I love streams when Luke gets mad, so then I can get mad without feeling like a madman. How does that... K-Wing is slowly turning into the Joker. Don't throw me in a vat of chemicals, and we should be fine.
I love Mabel from Gravity Falls. Thank you.
Your wife sounds exactly like Mabel. She is. No grappling hook, though.
I am Mabel, basically. I was like, why did they make this show about me? It's like...
K-Wing, you should have a YouTube channel that's just you screaming. Really? No. It does hurt my my voice after a while, guys. What's your favorite MCU film and Avenger? Captain America. Is Batman Arkham Origins a bad game? No, but it's not an amazing game. It's an okay game.
Did you know they fired... John Doe said they fired the guy playing Elongated Man.
Yeah, I heard about that. What if Adam West was in Smash? Well, they'd have to resurrect him. R.I.P. Adam West. K-Wing, did Rebirth get good or is it still worse? Rebirth is gone. It's now DC Universe. DC Rebirth has been done since 2018. It's been known as DC Universe, the DC Universe. They're still using the Rebirth logo, but underneath it, if you buy a Batman comic or Superman comic or Justice League, you'll notice underneath the DC logo it says Universe. That's the current. It's just DC Universe, but they're still using the Rebirth logo, which I like the Rebirth logo. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the Rebirth storylines.
Asking you who you think is gonna buy it, but
I don't know who's gonna buy it, guys.
There's no way to know. Like, we have no idea. Like, I guess whoever offers the most money. Like, I don't think AT&T cares who buys it.
No, you guys have to remember when a seek sale is happening or seeking sale, AT&T is so desperate to cut assets that they can get out of their debt because they don't want to be more in debt. So at this point, they're thinking if we can just, get a few billion here and a few billion there so we can kind of like level off and then make some money at the movies, then at this date and time, we can be less in debt. What they don't understand is if they would just release the blasted Batman game, the new Lego Star Wars game, which they will actually get some money from that, release more of a heavy mobile presence, especially with the CW just kind of dying a little bit, they could make a killing and really start to earn some revenue, but I don't understand why they don't. Disney has Marvel mobile games, they've got console games, they've got TV shows, they've got cartoon shows, comic books, other media. DC has just really been, I don't know, they've really been sucking at the marketing thing. They've had no mobile presence for 5 years. They've had hardly any PC or Steam presence. They've had very little console presence. They've just vanished. It's been Marvel dominance for 5 years now, more or less. Same thing happened in movies. When DC stopped making a lot of movies, that's when the MCU came in. So that's what they're going to do now with their Marvel games. What sucks is DC and Warner Brother Games were actually planning on making a DC shared video game universe. Setting up other DC properties. Who knows what's going to happen now? I can't tell you. I'm not a fortune teller. I am very good at predicting marketing trends and telling you what's going on with Batman and being about 90 to 95% correct, 85, 90%. After 10 years, I'd say that's a pretty good track record. Some of it is first-hand information. Some of it is second-hand information. Some of it is guessing. I'm good at what I do. I wish I wasn't so good because when I see stuff like this scares me. Being completely honest, I don't have the answers for you guys. I don't know what's going to happen. I want to be like, okay, nothing's going to happen. This was just a rumor. It's not a rumor. There's multiple. When you see CNBC, when you see these business outlets who talk about money and companies and monopolies and all this crap, talking about a company you love and have been buying games for like 14 years from, that should set off your spider sense. Like, okay, something's not right here. It's not just something like, oh, K-Wing's just making stuff up, or, this publication is just doing clicks. These are actually, in their field for business news, they are reputable. They have a rep.
Well, we did get it from CNN, but no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
My article that I got was from CNBC, but there are other articles by Forbes and those business places.
Thank you for the super chat. I don't really understand the super chat, though. Says there's no way that they're selling WB Games because they publish a lot of games, including Cyberpunk. I don't.
Your name is Luke, and Mark plays Luke Skywalker and the Joker. Is that why you were crazy? Could be a part of it.
Well, I mean, we don't want them. Thank you for the super chat, Obelisk. We don't want them to sell it either, but
we don't want them to sell.
It's in the news that they're selling it. I mean, we're not saying they're selling it. The news is saying it. So we're mourning the death of WB Games. I mean, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, look,
I don't know.
I know most YouTubers, you guys say a lot of them are shills, a lot of them make up stuff. I do my best to try to present you guys with the facts. When I tell you that I am predicting something, I tell you, hey, this is a prediction video, or this is where I think things are going to go. Sometimes if I have a source, even though I can't name the source, I tell you straight up, hey, this is what my source said. This is not me saying this is my source. This information is from publications that deal with business and marketing and the Dow and all that weird number stuff. So this is totally real.
You have somebody else in the chat that says their name is also Luke and their parents also named them after Luke Skywalker.
You have my pity because Luke Skywalker used to be cool. And then they ruined him.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry for reminding everyone.
It was still bad to be named after Luke Skywalker, even when he was cool.
In my mind, there's nothing after Return of the Jedi. I am a Legends fan till the day I die. Star Wars Extended Universe for life.
Would you ever buy a Nightwing game, Luke?
Yes. No matter who makes the Nightwing game, I will buy it. I'm buying the Miles Morales Spider-Man game. I will cover it. I'm buying the Avengers game. I love superheroes.
Luke loves Spider-Man.
I do. I do.
I would have loved to see a Wonder Woman game from WB Games.
They had a lot of opportunities to do stuff, and they just dropped
Wonder
the bomb.
Woman was so successful. Like, that would have been so cool. Like, the last female hero game that I played that was really good was Kim Possible from the 90s. I just feel like... Or maybe it was early 2000s. I just feel like we were so due for an actual good game with, like, a superhero female. Like, that would have been cool. I'm
just going to say this right now. I've been a complaining Nancy for the past 2 hours, so let's end with a little positivity. AT&T and Warner Brothers, because I know you fools are listening. Listen up. This is another idea you can rip from me if you want to. You've got the Snyder Cut coming out in a year. You need to get some type of mobile presence up with a Justice League mobile game. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's filler. I don't care if it's microtransactions. You need to be making revenue. So get off your butts and throw together some type of mobile game that fools all over the world are going to pay money for. And for different costumes. You can even use, use the basis of the Justice League, but then borrow from the comic books and add characters from the... You could have here you go. You have a Crisis on Infinite Earths mobile game that starts with the DC Cinematic Universe that you're trying to build with the Snyder Cut. Bring in the Arrowverse, bring in all the Titans and the different shows, but then charge people for their different costumes from the comics, and people will eat it up. Next, what you do is you start getting merch ready for the Snyder Cut right now, so all those people that want to support the Snyder Cut, they can put their money where their mouth is and buy some merch for a good Justice League film. Next thing you need to do is you need to make a Green Arrow game and get the actor back who played Arrow and appease all those Arrow fans that have been waiting for an Arrow game. You need to get that in development, get a teaser trailer available, and say when the game is going to release. And you need to get a new animated series up and running and better comics. There you go.
Wait, they could make a Chuck game.
That's all you need to do. And you could do half of this stuff while you're in quarantine. You could start planning right now for when business is open that you guys get your butts to work. Especially that Justice League mobile game. You have a couple, everybody is doing that, what do they call it? They're all doing that Marvel Strike Force thing. Everybody's doing it. Just copy that. Marvel copies your stuff all the time. Copy Strike Force. Do Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was a microtransaction nightmare, that Marvel game. I was dropping so much money into that just to cover it for my Let's Play channel. Shoot. And I know a lot of people that spent thousands of dollars playing that game. You know? That's revenue. Doesn't matter if it's evil. You're a corporation. You're already evil. Live it up. Do your job. I shouldn't have to do your job. You can pay me if you want. I'll take some storyboard stuff. Shoot. But anyway. That's all I got, people. So there's some positivity. I know they're listening. I know my contact at WB is listening.
I mean, it would make sense to have merch and stuff like that because people that are really passionate about the Snyder Cut, they would
buy it. Mm-hmm.
Look at all the people that do Kickstarters for stuff. They pay money, like, for video game Kickstarters just to get their, like, little picture in a
BVS
room.
made a lot of money on merchandise. Justice League did not make a lot of money on merchandise because there was very few merchandise for Justice League.
Oh, thank you so much, Black Ninja, for the super chat. Says, you guys have got me through so much in my life, and I'm sorry that this is happening and upsetting you.
Oh, it's okay. I rant for a living on this channel. It's what I do.
When BVS came out, a lot of the people that really loved that movie got merch for that. The only thing I can think of is some of the other games that...
They cut the merch for Justice League. There was hardly any merch for Wonder Woman or Justice League. It was very limited. Suicide Squad had hardly any merchandise. Yeah. They had tons of merch for BVS. They had more merch for BVS than they did Justice League, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, and even Aquaman hardly had any merchandise. Merchandise is what you need to do when you make movies.
Yeah.
They have to go together.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Kyle Batwing 15 just says #1 fan. Yay.
And this is a guy who just took like 6 months marketing to work at Sears. Like, yeah. I don't even have a degree in marketing, and I'm smarter than half the monkeys that work for these companies.
But look at all the, like, Kickstarter games where people spend, like, hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, just to get special things. You know what I mean? Even, like, a special seat with the developer or whatever. Like, people that really care about the game will spend extra money on it. We'll spend extra money to get the merch and stuff like that. So, like, people that really care about the Snyder Cut, they would spend extra money for the merch and stuff.
But anyway, I got nothing else left. I wish I had good news for you guys. Tomorrow, nobody bring this up. I'm done talking about this until the deal is finalized, and then we'll talk about where we go from here. What I predict will happen. Right now, yeah, it's kind of doom and gloom. There's not much good happening with this. It's not looking good. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but uh-oh. You know, reality just hit everybody in the face. It hit me in the face, and now I smacked you all in the face with reality. So, that's all I got, guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for listening to me rant and tell you what's up. Let's play some Arkham Origins multiplayer tomorrow night, alright? Alright. God bless, happy gaming, all that jazz, and I'm spent, guys and gals. We'll follow up on this, don't worry. We're going to follow up on the story.
I feel sad.
You're supposed to feel sad.
Give us hope, K-Wing.
There is no hope.
Sadness.
I don't make miracles, I just report the news.
God bless and happy gaming. See you guys later.